Hello, this is J183, and this is another episode of Pierre's Path to Glory, this time at the Chinese Grand Prix for Season 2. And yeah, it's pretty one of my strong tracks. I'm having a very good result here after the two third place finishes in the first two races of the season. If you missed them, then go and check them out. Links in the on my channel page. And yeah, track acclimatization test then, and it looks like it's going to be enough for the purple score right now because only two green scores, that is very good indeed. So easy 50 points there for the team. And yeah, on to the qualifying pace test. And it looks like I'm just about up at the minute, but then into the last corner I lose about a tenth and a half and then gain it back. It's very, very touch and go as to whether I'm going to get this. So let us see what is going to happen through the final corner. I'm going to trim it as much as I can to try and get the 30 resource points, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We're only, I think that's 9 thousandths off the target time, so that's very disappointing. So now into the qualifying session for the Chinese Grand Prix, and this is my best run in qualifying. And yeah, it's actually my first run for reasons that become known in just a few seconds. But yeah, behind the house of Roman Grosjean, I think this is ahead. And the first run in qualifying, no one set a time yet, I don't think. So it'll be interesting to see where this puts me. I think a few people have, but no one big, really. So it is going to come across the line to be a 1:35.8, I think that is. I can't quite see on my small screen. But yeah, it's a half decent time. This is the start of my second run in qualifying with only 30 seconds left. And unfortunately it started raining, so I sort of left that a bit too late and messed up a little bit because it's now far too late to set a time, and just through turn one alone I've already lost a tenth and a half. So as you can tell, it's not going to be a strong lap at all because I left it too late, which is my mistake. So that's pretty disappointing. So that my first run is all that we're going to have to stand with, and the two Mercedes get a lockout on the front row. Daniel Ricciardo ahead Lewis Hamilton, Raikkonen third in the Ferrari, which is music to their ears after they've had quite a poor start to the season. From Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, myself, Gasly in 6th place, Fernando Alonso 7th, Sainz, Button, Nico Carey making up the top 10 with Valtteri Bottas in 11th place. So yeah, 6th place isn't great, a second off pole, and then into 12th you have Grosjean, Perez and Hulkenberg and Williams not doing too well. Wehrlein in the Force India, then Julian Palmer, Gutierrez, Magnussen, and then it's the Manners and the Sauers bringing up the rear of the grid, up to 3 seconds off the pace there for the Sauers, which is very disappointing. And let's get into the race.
Over there to our southeast, and we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix.
So from 6th place on the grid, I'm intending to do a 2-stop race from super softs onto 2 sets of mediums. So let's get into the race. 5 red lights for the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. And it's a very good start compared to Vettel alongside me, so I instantly jump back up into 5th, and then Raikkonen's also bogged down from 3rd, and I'm up into 4th now. At the inside of Max Verstappen into turn 1. Make a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there, which is nervous times for Christian Horner, but it's fine. There's no damage done, certainly not to me. There might be to my teammate Verstappen, but hopefully not. So that is a nice start up into 3rd place by the end of the first few corners. So good start from 6th up into 3rd, and let's hope to build from here and make the most of this good start and catch the Mercedes cars ahead, who are Ricciardo still ahead of Hamilton, I believe, with Verstappen just behind, and I think it's 2 Ferraris. And then here's the end of lap 1, and you can see Raikkonen's going the entire move on me, and he's actually turned into me, and we've half spun around the corner, both of us, but luckily since the hairpin it didn't make much of a difference, so pretty lucky there. But then let's look at a replay of the start and the lights out, and the 2 Ferraris both bogged down a lot. Myself and Verstappen got good starts from the inside of the track, get up into 3rd and 4th straight away, and you can just see the slight wheel-to-wheel contact with Verstappen, but it's not too damaging at all. I think both of us got out unscathed there, so very, very good indeed. And the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz actually overtook Vettel as well there, so very disappointing from the German to be alongside Carlos Sainz down towards turn 4 now in the background there. And the other Toro Rosso of Nico Carey, I think, battling Jenson Button, that is, in the background. So let's have a look at Carlos Sainz's start actually. So Sebastian Vettel is the car forward and left one. So you can just see there's my car right ahead getting an absolutely brilliant launch, and alongside Jenson Button this is, and Sebastian Vettel actually doesn't seem to be giving up his position too easily right now. But Carlos Sainz in the second phase of the corner just getting his nose alongside and then being able to force out Vettel. And then he found himself on the outside, but very well done from the Spaniard to keep it right around there in his Toro Rosso, which is quite a good car, but the Ferrari is better from in this season. So yeah, it's very, very good indeed for him to be up into 6th place. I think this is, yeah, 6th behind Raikkonen in 5th. So no damage done. But now on to the end of lap 3, I'm coming into the pits already actually, very, very early first stop. But these super soft tyres really aren't the tyres to be on in this Chinese Grand Prix. It's the tyre wear is shocking around here. And you can see Lewis Hamilton also thinks the same. He's coming to the pits from the lead, I think, or 2nd place at least. So hopefully was maybe even jump him, but I doubt it because it was quite a big gap before the stops. And yeah, I'm going to come out well down the order, unfortunately. 2.4 second stop, which isn't too bad at all, but good work by the Red Bull team. And I'm going to come out very, very far down the order. But virtual safety cars actually come out. That could help me a lot because it means that the drivers who weren't in the pits have to stick to a delta. And you come see, I've just come out right behind George Russell in his manner, which is very disappointing. But you can see on the left there, Carlos Sainz. That is the reason for the virtual safety car. He's actually spun around and he's beached it on the outside of turn 1. So very disappointing for him after his good start. But hopefully we can take advantage of the virtual safety car ending, and George Russell, who's very inexperienced, we're going to look right around the outside. We can't overtake yet, but as soon as it ends, there we go. Now overtaking is allowed. I'm going to go right around the outside of turn 5. That is a very, very nice move if it comes off, which it has, and that is a brilliant move, and albeit on a manner, but it's still satisfying to make. So now we can apply the pressure to Lewis Hamilton ahead, who's stuck behind Sergio Perez in the Force India right now. So that is helpful pretty much, because Hamilton's now looking to the inside of Sergio Perez. He's going to lock up his right front wheel slightly, if you saw on the front right corner of his car. But I'm going to go right on the outside of Perez and take that position right behind Lewis Hamilton now, and a move could be on the cards here because slipstream is ridiculous in this game. I will have rich mix DRS. He has the Mercedes engine, but I think it won't make much of a difference. And you can see Lewis Hamilton without the DRS, we get in that slipstream, and this is going to get very tasty into the hairpin at the end of the straight, the longest straight in Formula 1, I believe, apart from the one in Baku. And we are side by side with Lewis Hamilton, no contact made. We have to take a shallower line, which gives him the better exit. We're side by side, still going side by side, and he's going to hold the inside line. I'm going to look right around the outside into the final corner, run onto the curb slightly, but no track extending done at all. Side by side down towards turn 1. I have DRS once again, so that should give me the position. And yes, I'm ahead of Lewis Hamilton now into turn 1. And you just saw in the background Daniel Ricciardo coming out the pit lane, so we've both undercut him. So that is for the net lead of the race. So that is very nice indeed. And now we have Esteban Ocon as the next car ahead, so we need to side through this traffic as soon as we can so that we don't get stuck and maybe even put back under pressure by Lewis Hamilton. So I'm going to force out Ocon wide. He has to go onto the marbles, onto the dirty part of the track, and he actually slows down a lot, and Hamilton's caught out by this, and he loses part of his front wing behind Esteban Ocon. So that is very, very difficult because Hamilton's now going to have to pit probably to fix his front wing. So yeah, he's going to probably overtake the manor anyway down towards the hairpin. Oh, and that's a massive engine failure there for the Esteban Ocon in this manner. It's very disappointing indeed. I'm going to go for a move on Charles Leclerc into the very same corner, and that is very hectic down towards the hairpin on lap 5. So Hamilton gets damage, and then the car he got damage off, Esteban Ocon, also has problems and has an engine failure, is now out of this race. And Charles Leclerc also having to give the position to me, but now at the inside of Kevin Magnussen into the middle sector, and that is very nice if it comes off, but we saw it out round the outside of the long corner. So this is the order now, and Valtteri Bottas is leading this race very strangely, and then it's Nico Hülkenberg in second from Jolyon Palmer, and then it's Esteban Gutierrez, and then Pascal Wehrlein, and then myself in 6th place right now, and then Daniel Ricciardo just behind the other Renault of Kevin Magnussen. But now I'm going to go for a move on Pascal Wehrlein into the final corner, into the second last corner I should say, and yeah, you can just see the top 4 here, and I'm going to try and side through these cars one by one until they're going very long on those tyres. So it's quite a simple move overtaking Pascal Wehrlein into the hairpin, as we've seen quite a lot already. But now Esteban Gutierrez is the next car ahead of me, doing very well right now. He's tried these long strategies quite a lot this season, so hopefully we can once again overtake him, as we have done in Australia and I think in Bahrain as well. So very, very different strategies that Gutierrez is trying to take, but it should be quite a straightforward move down towards the hairpin. And yeah, DRS is open. We pretty much overtake him before the DRS is active anyway. So that is very nice. Up back into the top 3, and it's only the 2 Williams cars, or the Williams car of Bottas, and then Jolyon Palmer in second place at the minute, doing very well in his banana car. And hopefully, actually Bottas into the pits, and so is Jolyon Palmer. So they have both pitted on the end of lap 9. So that is able to reclaim the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix, and hopefully we can see this out to the end now, as I've got quite a bit of a gap to the other cars on the same strategy as me, as the car directly behind me still is Gutierrez. But now here's Daniel Ricciardo, who's just overtaken Pascal Wehrlein, moving up into 2nd place now. And this is Nico Carey actually in 4th place, but he's in a net 3rd, so he has actually pitted once. I think he hit on the virtual safety car, which really helped him out. So he's in actually a net 3rd place, as Pascal Wehrlein is still yet to pit. So very, very well done. He's only in his 3rd race in the calendar, and he is on for a podium right now. But now Daniel Ricciardo goes for a move. I'm going to absolutely lunge it up the inside. That is a very dangerous dive bomb. We're still side by side, the Red Bull and the Mercedes car of Daniel Ricciardo, and the amount of times we've battled already this season is pretty nice to see. I lunge it back up the inside of the final corner, and I managed to actually get DRS there as well, as Pascal Wehrlein pits from in the background. So that should mean I hold the position for now. But then onto the same lap, lap 13, Ricciardo is going to come back at me down the main straight, and he's got DRS, so it's going to be very difficult to defend against. But I can duck back into the slipstream and once again go for a lunge up the inside. Very, very late move, but yeah, dangerous to say the least. And he's going to hold it around the outside actually, so very well done to him to hold it around the outside of the hairpin there, and hopefully I can grab the DRS for the main straight and re-overtake him back into turn 1, which is actually quite a difficult corner to go side by side in, so hopefully it'll be done before then. And as you can see in the slipstream, DRS is open and straight back past him into turn 1, and we have the position before the braking zone, so that is very nice to see. But he might even look to the inside there, but no, I ran a slightly wide, but Ricciardo didn't capitalise, unfortunately for him. So back into the lead on lap 14, it won't be too long before we pit again now for another set of medium tyres as these are coming towards the end of their life. And on the end of lap 14 now, and he's going to go to the outside line in the hairpin, and he actually didn't get ahead of me there, so I'm going to try and see him out. I've got the inside line, so I should be able to just force him wide, as I do, and then the tyres are very, very second best, and they're not looking too good, and Ricciardo actually this time has the DRS down towards turn 1, so he might be able to overtake me to turn 1 and then actually lead for a lap here, rather than just a corner before, as it has been previously. But here he goes into turn 1, I've got to leave him the gap, and I'm going to let him run wide actually, take the tighter line and then get the inside for turn 2 and hopefully see him out like this. It's a very opportunistic move, and yeah, back into the lead against Daniel Ricciardo as he had to run wide there. And it's a very, very nice indeed to get back into the lead like that. That was a satisfying move to make. But now on to lap 16, I'm going to be pitting this lap. My tyres are at 75%, so very close to being puncture worthy, but then almost to a Lewis Hamilton from 2007, but not quite. And we brake for the line, pit on to another set of medium tyres, 12 laps at the end. Ricciardo actually pitted a lap earlier, so it could mean he's about to undercut me, which would be disappointing, as we've been battling him for a while, but he might even be going to lead. But then my teammate Verstappen now leads, he's going slightly longer, or he's battling for the lead rather, I should say, with another car. I'm not quite sure who that is, but then here comes Daniel Ricciardo down the main straight. The Williams and Bottas are going to go past. Ricciardo's right behind me still, so I've actually retained that position. We go up the inside of the Williams car into turn 2, and that's very nice indeed. So I retain the net lead for now from Daniel Ricciardo, who's actually 2 positions behind me, but Bottas is out of sync. And here comes Ricciardo on Valtteri Bottas down towards the hairpin, and the Renault of Johnny Palmer might get involved here as well. He's dancing about all over the place in the background, but Ricciardo's going to go down the inside of Valtteri Bottas, see him out wide, and Palmer looks like he might have capitalised there, but not quite. And here is George Russell, who was actually having a very good showing, up in not last, which is good for a manner. So unfortunately he's had an engine failure, and very much like his teammate Esteban Ocon. And here is Nico Carey, who's still in a net 4th place, and unfortunately that's an engine failure for him as well. So very, very bad luck for Nico Carey. And yeah, there's a safety car deployed for these 2 retirements actually, which could throw the race into jeopardy. But the safety car's now coming in, I'm going to back everyone up, but very, very unlucky for Nico Carey to be running in a good 4th place, which is very, very nice. But then unfortunately their engine failing, but now we can absolutely fly and hopefully run away from the pack behind me. It's Daniel Ricciardo still in 2nd, and then it's a lapped car. But Daniel Ricciardo is actually going to pull into the pit at the very end of the safety car window. That is a very, very dubious decision to pit at the end of the safety car window with only 4 laps remaining now. So Mercedes pretty much bottling their strategy well and truly there. So he's now out of the running, and so it's the Ferraris battling over the last 2 places on the podium, as Vettel's now defending from Kimi Raikkonen. Right, is outside, but Raikkonen's looking. He's got the inside for the final corner. It's going to get very, very close between the Scuderia Ferraris. And there you go, side by side, very close to contact. My teammate Verstappen's just behind, looking to capitalise. Here he goes, Max Verstappen. He's got DRS, he's going to go up the inside turn 1, and he's actually forced out Kimi Raikkonen. And he's taken that position, and he almost looks to the inside of the other Ferrari, but not quite. So, yeah, the running is now myself in the lead from the 2 Ferraris, and Verstappen battling over 2nd. And here goes Verstappen up the inside of Raikkonen into the hairpin. So he's about to make it Red Bull 1-2 by the looks of things, and that is very nice indeed. He forces out Kimi Raikkonen, and this is giving me a massive lead actually, but unfortunately Raikkonen overtook Verstappen back into turn 1, so he's going to do it the very same move into the next lap, and he does it just the same as he did the previous lap. He locks up this time, bit of contact made, so Raikkonen is still going to hold it on the outside, but then he goes up the inside into turn 1. There's great racing between the AI cars of Verstappen and Raikkonen and Vettel, and Verstappen takes that position back into turn 1 with the DRS enabled. So I am coming around the final few corners on lap 28. That battling behind gave me a massive lead. I managed to build up a very, very big lead with only 4 laps to actually build that up, and you can just see on the minimap how far ahead I am. But yeah, coming around the final corner, and the first win of the season, the first win for Red Bull, and that is the first win for Pierre Gasly. So I win the race from teammate Verstappen by 13 seconds in the end. and Kimi Räikkönen and Sebastian Vettel separated by just 0.6 of a second. And then it's Nico Hülkenberg actually in 5th place in his Williams car, which is very strong indeed, followed by the two Renaults both getting points in 6th and 8th, with Valtteri Bottas splitting them. And then Carlos Sainz in 9th, with Esteban Gutierrez scoring a point in 10th, with Alonso 11th, missing out once again. Ricciardo with that bottle strategy 12th from Verline, Jenson Button, Romain Grosjean, Lewis Hamilton down in 16th after making 5 pit stops. It's very odd indeed. Leclerc and Perez in 17th and 18th, and Giovinazzi finishing a lap down, with Carey and the two manners of Russell and Ocon both retiring from the race. So that means I now lead the Drivers' Championship as Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo both failed to score. So that means Red Bull now have a massive lead over Ferrari actually, have jumped Mercedes into 2nd place in the Constructors, so very nice indeed. Now we go on to resource points, and it's going to be quite a lot of resource points for that race win. And that takes up to just over 1,000, which should be enough for an upgrade. And my driver position is absolutely shocking, but hopefully I can restore that at some point. But yeah, I'm going to go for an upgrade. I think it's the engine upgrade I'm going to go for. Oh no, because I can't afford that one. I think it is the chassis weight. And yeah, this has been JM183, so leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe for more. This has been JM183, and I will see you next time.